Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing Domain Reanimator Brew, and I've been super impressed on how well this deck performed. Okay, so this is a deck and archetype I played in the past a lot. There are a lot of brews, Domain Reanimator brews on my channel, and but we now got looting unbanned, and I definitely had to revisit this strategy. And as I said, I'm very happy with it. Okay, so with looting and frog also was a recent improvement for this strategy together with territorial cow that makes 12 cards that are great fit in this strategy and can all be used to dump Archon in the graveyard. This is a big upgrade because previously this deck was missing ways to ditch Archon in the yard and had too many 2 drops. So Faithless Looting kind of is a perfect addition to this and basically any other Reanimator deck. Also turn 2 persist Archon becomes a reality, and having such a good plan B with territorial Kavu, Sino Jacob combo with Leyline of the Guild Pact, even without Leyline, it's great synergy with both Frog and Kavu, giving it trample first strike and to Frog hexproof lifelink. So it's a great synergy with Scion and other creatures in this deck. We have Leyland binding in the main with pick your poisons in the side. You can basically answer any kind of graveyard hate. And Leyland of the Void is very common now, so I think having Leyland binding as an answer there is really, really amazing. Also, a pick your poison on the side plus 5 colors gives you so many sideboard options. And Stubborn Denial is also a big strength of this deck. Um, Basically no deck other than Zoo style deck can support it with Territorial Cavo, Psychic Frog, Sino Draco, Emperor of the Bones, all being able to provide Ferocious. And uh, what else we got here? So Leyland of the Voids and the sideboard, they are good with looting with Cavo. Not a big problem to dump it in the yard. Also, sometimes having 8 Leylines in matchups where it's good, it's pretty cool. So you're kind of almost guaranteed to start with the Leyline in the field, which can be strong. Unmoored Ego, in addition to Stubborn Denial, is a way to fight combo decks. Brotherhood's End, additional artifact hate, but Pyroclasm might be better against energy decks. So that is something I want to check and see in the future how we'll play it out. Maybe Pyroclasm is definitely better against energy, but we'll have to see how important will uh, card like Brotherhood and be important in the future against like Mox Opal decks, obviously, and stuff like that. So it depends how big will there be and become. Okay, so I got Swamp, I got Forest. Forest there as obviously a post board, a good way to get rid of Blood Moon with Pick Your Poison. And it's impossible to play planes in this version, so we got Forest as a kind of a Blood Moon solution in the post-board games. And okay, that's it. We now go check out the gameplay and see how that went. Okay, so here is match 1. Let's see how did it go. Okay, so I have a potential of turn 1 looting, turn 2 persist here, which is very strong. But my opponent starts with Emery, and I didn't have a second guaranteed untapped land, so I decided to play it a bit slower and go for turn 1 binding, get rid of Emery. Emery is dangerous creature if you leave it on the field. So I decided. I was at first. Thought maybe I'm playing against Breach, grinding Breach, but then I saw the Daredevils, so obviously that's not it. And then I saw Riddlesmith, and I was very confused. So Riddlesmith is often played in combo decks, and yet this deck was so opponent here had the potential to draw a bunch of cards. With Riddlesmith, they went cookbook into boots, but they did not have enough cards to continue this. So that was it. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in opponent's deck. Let's see what happened in game 2. Okay, so game two. Let's see the sideboarding plan. It is you have to consider my opponent deck. Um, a time like a classic time sieve deck, I would say, with Mox Opal and addition of Riddlesmith instead of a Ledger Shredder that was previously played in strategies like that. So just consider Riddlesmith more combo style replacement for a card like that. And yeah, okay, so here opponent went for Inti. Obviously, Inti is a very strong card in a cookbook deck. With faceless looting, it's even better. So I go for looting. I find persist here. Don't have Archon yet, but I have Scion combo and holding Leyline Binding. That seems pretty good for now. Opponent just goes for construct, but they have 6 cards in hand. So okay, so I go for looting. Try to dig here. Pick your poison. Kill Urza Saga. Start attacking with Scion. Okay, opponent goes for looting. In response, I take their Inti. Opponent plays looting, discards 2 Daredevils. That's very good for them. And then they go Emery. At this point, I don't really have much to do here. I just continue attacking with Scion. I don't have any good targets for not for this second persist in my hand. Opponent goes for Asmo, and then they have Riddlesmith on the field, and the opponent started doing like really amazing things here. Okay, so they played second Mox Opal, which gave them another mana that was very important. Okay, so they again go for Cookbook, and here they find Time Sieve. So this turn was very impressive turn by opponent. This is turn 6, but I had multiple interaction against opponent, and this was just very impressive turn. So opponent got Riddle Smith going. That is a card that I was really into for a long time, and I tried and tested bunch of Riddlesmith brews in the past. So that is definitely something that interest me. Okay, so opponent continues doing time sieve plus Riddlesmith stuff. Everything they do here basically triggers Riddlesmith, and they go with construct for 9, get extra turn, and now they can grow their construct really big. Plus they have Kappa Cannoneer, and yeah, I really wanted to see this through until the end because I was kind of impressed with the deck. I really liked it, and I'm into trying something on this team. Okay, so if you didn't see sideboarding here yet, I decided to ditch my stabs. One Emperor of the Bones goes out, and one looting, one frog. Brought in the Brotherhood's End. I had on the sideboard. Okay, so opponent continued digging, and yeah, they find eventually enough damage, and I concede. Okay, so let's check out game 3. They played like 10 more spells, grow their Kappa Cannoneer, get another extra turn, and yeah, that was already over long ago, but I was like super interested to seeing the whole combo and all the cards. Yeah, okay, so opponent has the cookbook here, and I didn't want to see my Kavu die so easily. So I decided to go binding the cookbook instead of playing Kavu. So I go for territorial Kavu here, let them untap with Riddlesmith, which is obviously a bit risky. They only had one Daredevil, and I guess they didn't find what they needed. So this was a good turn for me. I went for full domain and persisted Archon and keep Leyline Binding. kill both of their riddle smiths, and then opponent goes like make a construct token, play Emery, but yeah, next turn I am attacking with both Archon and Territorial Cow. They have to sacrifice a creature and discard a card, lose a bunch of life. I also have pick your poison to kill their Urza Saga, so I would say that's definitely game over. And yeah, okay, so opponent concedes. That is match one. Let's check out match two. Okay, so in the match two, kind of weird hand. Started with Leyline of the Guild Pact. I have fetch to go for the Surveil. I have double Stubborn Denial, which is kind of can be weird, can be good. I keep Psychic Frog on the top. Psychic Frog is a great top deck here, but yeah, my opponent was doing Elvish Reclaimer, Flagstones stuff. So Stubborn Denial is very useful here. Okay, so I go for attack with Psychic Frog, hoping to find Archon or something here, holding obviously Stubborn Denial, which I don't expect to be super useful in this matchup. Okay, so opponent goes for another land, and the Dread Arbor plays additional land. They are now on 5 lands, and they have double mana to go for Elvish Reclaimer ability again. That is bad for me because now they have Dread on the field, so they're getting Valakut, sacking the Flagstones, and that is already 6 lands. So yeah, that is potentially a problem. I go for attacks first. Play another frog, hold a leyline binding, and pass the turn. Okay, so I let them find. Um, let them find the Valakut. Then I take the Dryad. The Valakut trigger sizzles, and I'm completely tapped at the moment. So my opponent has a bunch of mountains, and but yeah, I find Archon at good time, and I'm protecting my Emperor with uh, double. I'm protecting Emperor with double Stubborn Denial, and I discarded everything on Frog to give it Ferocious, and unfortunately, in response, opponent plays Endurance and discards exiles my Archon from the yard, so I was not able to reanimate it this turn. If I was able to do it, then I would get the win immediately. We can see here opponent goes for Valakut and plays Kalni Heart Expedition. That is super cool. And they have fetch plus double fetch plus reclaimer ability. That is enough to trigger Valakut exactly enough times to do the kill. They even had one extra with the reclaimer, so yeah, that's a cool kill there by opponent with Carling Heart Expedition. Didn't see that one for a long time, and I thought I'm going to win with double Stubborn Denial, but opponent had Endurance. Yeah, and that was in the main. That was game one. So yeah, definitely did not expect that. But yeah, seems like nowadays people play endurance main. Okay, so let's check out game two. Again, stubborn denials go out. Not very useful in this matchup, and didn't really have much to bring in. So only replaced those two with I think additional 2 fatal pushes. Yeah, 2 fatal pushes from the sideboard went in. And okay, so here I go turn to Psychic Frog. Opponent again goes for Kani, and yeah, I go for attack, pump my Psychic Frog a bit, and I go for Fate, and I finally find Archon, put it in the yard, but yeah, so didn't find a third land. If I find a third land, I will be able to like immediately reanimate it. And yeah, now my opponent has three counters on Carling Heart Expedition, but I was able to put Archon in the field, grow my Psychic Frog a lot here, and pass the turn. Even if my opponent deals with Archon somehow, I'm still winning with Psychic Frog next turn. So really hard situation for the opponent, and they concede after they draw a card. So let's check out game 3. As I said, only a couple of fatal pushes go in instead of stubborn denial. That's it. Okay, so here in game 3, starting with Leyline of the Guild Pact, and I push their Elvish Pioneer. I have a turn to Frog, so feeling pretty good. Leyline of the Guild Pact is on the field. If I find a Scion at any moment, that is kind of a problem for them. So I start attacking with Frog. Seems like they're having trouble problems killing it. So opponent goes for lightning bolt. So obviously they have another one, but I wanted to make them use it. So it was not a problem for me here to discard two cards, and I played my third frog. Played my third frog here. Opponent goes 4 mana Wrath of the Skies to kill my frog. I did not expect to see this card in my opponent's deck, definitely. And here I surveil Archon in the yard. That was really cool. And then Emperor of the Bones exiles Archon from the yard. So they have to kill Emperor. If they don't kill it, they are in big, big, big problem. And they already used a couple of lightning bolts and Wrath of the Skies. And here I have 4 mana. With 4 mana, even if they try to kill my Emperor in response, I can still use ability again. And yeah, I'm now attacking for 13 damage, leaving my opponent down on 2 life, playing Scion Jake already have Leyland the Guild Packs on the field for a Scion combo, and yeah, discard all cards in their hand. There's just no chance for them to do much at this point, and it's a game over. And that was match 2. Okay, so let's check out match 3. We'll go through wins first and check out defeat in the end, as always. And okay, so let's check out match 3. I'm starting with Leyline combo. That's a great start, but also it's not just that. I also have like turn 2 frog discard Archon into turn 3 persist. So I would say this is brutal start. Opponent plays Yavimaya and Dryad Arbor. It's super sweet to see all this great decks of people are trying out, and I really had a lot of fun lately playing Modern. Okay, so we can see here opponent exiling my Frog with March, but I was able to discard Archon and persist it on turn 3, kill their Dryad Arbor, make them discard Elvish Reclaimer, and obviously if opponent doesn't kill Archon here, this is like pretty bad for them. They play another Reclaimer, and I have like Sign on Jacob combo, so there's just no chance for them to ever remove this Archon if they were hoping to do that next turn or whatever. So that is game over, and let's check out game 2. You've, it's funny that I ran into so many Elvish Reclaimer decks. Obviously, it's kind of popular again because people are trying like Green Sun Zenith, a lot of Green Sun Zenith builds, and a lot of old time favorites. But yeah, like Green Sun Zenith definitely is a big addition to a deck like this one. It gets Dread Arbor, it gets Elvish Reclaimer, it gets Dread of what is it called? The 3 mana Dryad. I forgot. Okay, so here my opponent got rid of my Leyland the Guild Pact. So both players don't have much, but I was able to go for a cow here and decided to keep pushing my hand, not to go for a kill hierarch. That was a great decision. That was great decision because uh, I was able to yeah. Next, I was able to kill Knight of the Reliquary. It's so cool to see Knight of the Reliquary being played in Modern. I really, really love it. It's like it's my dream to like for Knight of Reliquary to be good again. Okay, so I go for Sino Draco. Next turn, I have a combo. I was not able to fatal push knight because I did not have way to I did not have a way to do the revolt thing. Okay, so here I'm attacking for 5, putting the opponent down on 3 life. Opponent gets Urza Saga and they play Keen-Eyed Curator. So I go Leyland Binding, take their knight, and I really did not play against this card for a lot of time and uh, didn't think too much about Jiri Step, to be honest. But yeah, my opponent didn't play just one Seijiri step. They actually played two of those. Okay, so here I go. Go for Kavo ability. They have to jump this. So they jump with Construct Token. And I use the second mana to kill their Curator. Curator can become pretty large for investment of 4 mana, gets +4/+4 trample, can exile cards from my graveyard. So this was one of the coolest things that happened to me, and yeah, luckily opponent opponent had either spellbomb here, and I find the Scion combo, but I was not able to attack with a single territorial Kavu. And this was one of the coolest things that happened to me lately. And we can see here opponent has Echoing Deeps copying the Sijiri step and then giving their knight 15/15 Knight of the Reliquary protection from red to go for the lethal. Yeah, this was pretty cool. Yeah, I loved this play, and this makes me like want to try something like this deck myself. I probably will. I'm really, really into Night of the Reliquary stuff. So yeah, probably going to do that. Let's check out game three. A lot of cool matchups in this league, but it has been kind of weird lately in leagues. I don't think the one played were bad, but uh, they definitely were different and refreshing and new. And okay, so I find the nuts here. In game three, I have turn two Archon of Cruelty. It doesn't get much better than that. Obviously, opponent doesn't have an easy way to get rid of Archon. So I was able to go for the looting and I play Sign of Jacob. So now it's another strong threat with a flying. Opponent has force of figure. They find a way to get rid of Scion, but uh, they also find a way to get rid of Archon. But now they are on 8 life, so obviously it's not the easiest thing um, to win this one. I already had Archon ability going, so here I try to I discard Archon. I try to use Emperor of the Bones ability to reanimate it. Opponent digs in response but doesn't find a solution, and yeah, they lose to Archon of Cruelty with haste here plus Fatal Push. I have everything I need here, and that is game over. Okay, so that was game three of this match. So that one is over. So we will now check out the match four of this league, win number four. And in match four, I played against a four color. Okay, I started first, opponent has Elegant Parlor, puts Wrath of the Skies in the yard, and again with first Surveil I put Archon there, so I don't have a mana to play my Psychic Frog here, but I can play Territorial Cabo. Opponent goes for binding. I didn't draw another land, so I go for binding as well. Get back my Kavu. I wasn't sure what they playing exactly, so I decided to go for binding on my turn. And they ended up having prismatic ending, but yeah, it's okay. So opponent goes for Brennan 6 then and exiles my binding, and I find a perfect top deck here. Persist to kill their Brennan 6, make them discard the card, and yeah, now my opponent has the fairy to bounce Archon, but it is kind of too late. I am able to kill their Teferi, and I basically have lethal next turn. With all this, opponent goes for endurance. It would probably be better if they went for Omnat, try to find a land. Yeah, okay, so but I didn't mind it. I decided to. I have Stubborn Denial. I have Leyland Binding, but they have a blocker here. I didn't want to discard either of my cards, so I decided just to go for Sino Draco. It kind of seals the deal on my win next turn, and leave my opponent down on 5 life with Stubborn Denial in hand. I just don't believe they can do much. But yeah, they go for Risen Reef. Reason Reef can potentially find them removal here, but they are on. They have just one card in their hand, and I go for with all my creatures. It flying on frog doesn't really matter. There's just I have a trample damage, so there's no way they can block without having a removal. The only thing they could have is like Leyland Binding here, and I have Stubborn Denial, so there was just no way of them doing anything in a situation like this. So that was it. And in game two, I think we can check the sideboarding plan, but opponent ended up disconnecting immediately after start. So yeah, it's not immediately after start, but I don't think we played much, and we can just check out the sideboarding plan. So I decided to bring in one stubborn Nile, ditch both emperors, ditch one. I also brought in a third fatal push, and I didn't have much to change except of bringing one push. I think it's good against this version playing Reef. You have to have kind of a removal for Reef. If you don't kill Reef, it can get out of control. And like Leyland Binding is not ideal way to kill the Reef. They can have their binding. So when they binding your binding, they get the Reef ability again. It's kind of annoying. So I kind of like having a third push and third denial and no other changes. Okay, so that was it. Now we will go check out the last match of the league, defeat. Okay, so let's see how this went. Very weird hands this game one. I mulliganed two decent 6 cards and started off with Leyland of the Guild Pact. I have a Survey. Was playing against Eldrazi's. And yeah, Eldrazi's don't have much interaction in game one, and I have Stubborn Denial in my hand plus Cabo. This seemed like okay. So what happens there is I was F6 on their turn, and I really wanted to Stubborn Denial their Talisman, but I was F6 because I didn't expect them to play Eugene's Labyrinth, and I tried to cancel it and play my Stubborn Denial on their Talisman, and but I didn't do it on time, so they ended up resolving Talisman, and that was a big blow because if they did not do this, they would not be able to play Karn here. So it's a potentially completely different game. So yeah, that was a big blow, and then turn after they have to have mana again, and everything is different. And here I was able to kill Karn. pass the turn holding stubborn denial, but my opponent instead just plays Havar Might, nothing else. And I was hoping here to find Emperor of the another land for Emperor of the Bones ability. If I found another land immediately, I would be able to try to reanimate Archon immediately, which would be a big deal. Okay, so opponent has Havermight. They get rid of my Lady of the Guild Pact. Now I'm still holding Stubborn Denial for their turn. I have I found a land after combat, so now I'm able to reanimate Archon. And yeah, here is what happened. Why I decided to do that. So obviously, my opponent was wanted to have 7 mana. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I killed their Scion. So if they play a land, they have 6 mana and they can't play All is Dust, or they can play the what is it called? Uh, the Eldrazi that exiles my emperor or whatever. Okay, so that is the reason why I went for the binding here. And on my turn, I use the Emperor of the Bones ability to bring Archon back. I have Stubborn Denial backup, attacking for huge amounts of damage here, and that is lethal if they don't have a response. And I have a Stubborn Denial backup, so yeah, pretty sure about this one. So yeah, that was it. I started off well, winning a first game, and it was interesting match, longer, fun games. Let's see what happened against Eldrazi in game two. Again, they start off with Talisman of Resilience, turn one plus Eldrazi Temple. That is pretty brutal start. I don't think it gets much better than that. So yeah, I was in a big trouble here in game two. I decided to go for Sino Jaco. They can't play Kozilek's command on Sino Jaco. And yeah, there is one thing against Eldrazi you have to be careful about, and that is all is dust. If you have Layla of the Guild Pact on the field, um, all is dust kills everything. And I have to say that I did not expect Karn Liberated. Definitely did not expect Karn Liberated at all. And so here I went for Leyland Binding on Karn, play the Emperor of the Bones, but opponent finds Karn and gets Havermight, brings their second Karn back, and it was at this point pretty bad situation for me. Have Persist, have Archon. I need only a way to get rid of them, put it in the yard, but this time didn't find it, and in meantime opponent finds Soul's Jailer plus Trinisphere, and that was a game over. Plus third Archon top deck, yeah, wasn't what I needed. So that was it. Good win for opponent in game two. So let's check out game three, deciding game of this match. And I started off well. So Leyline Binding, I have Sino Jacob combo, I have Psychic Frog, bunch of good cards, and yeah, so I went for binding the map here and decided to lead with a Psychic Frog because I wanted to start drawing cards. Put looting in graveyard with surveil ability, draw into another frog. Another frog is not what I need at this point. Probably should have discarded a couple of cards before combat to grow my frog. But yeah, so I decided not to play the binding. And again, I did the similar thing here. Opponent had like 6 mana. If they play land, that is 7 mana um, for all is dust. But they find Eldrazi Temple, and Eldrazi Temple provides them with 7 mana, um, despite me just killing their talisman. So they had 7 mana anyway, and now they resolved the Always Dust with Leyline of the Guildpact on the field. That means that even my Sino Jacob dies. Yeah, so that is the reason. In the past, often I was siding out Leyline of the Guildpact against deck that plays a lot of Always Dust, but to be honest, I really wasn't sure what is my opponent even playing. And I continued playing. I still had decent chance, and I put my opponent down on 9 and basically now have lethal damage on the field, but my opponent has too much cards in hand. First, they play Sowing Microspawn, kill my red land. Then they go for Karn, the Great Creator, find Haywire Might, and again, they can use the Haywire Might to bring their Devourer back, which blocks my Kavus, disables them from attacking, and yeah, now I'm totally cooked with Sundering Titan, killing all my lands, so that is definite game over and win for opponent in this close match. It was super close, so one all is dust was the key of opponent winning there. So that's it. Okay, so that is the entire video. Thank you for watching. Total score with this deck so far for me was 8-2, so did very well in initial testing. I've been impressed in how sweet this deck felt, but obviously the matchups were not the most representative. So more testing is needed, but I usually have a good feeling about things like this. Deck just feels good with Frog, Kavu, looting, and a good plan B, and a lot of ways to deal with graveyard hate. And often you don't even have to deal with graveyard hate, you can just play like normal aggro hand and win with the creatures. Obviously, Kavu, Scion, and Frogs are very strong creatures, and it's not that hard to win without them, without ever using Archon or Persist. And Persist can also sometimes be used to reanimate Territorial Kavu or Sign of Jaco. Okay, so there is potential of playing maybe couple of trolls in this build as well. I wouldn't completely rule it out. Maybe troll couple of trolls in instead of 2 lands would. That's a thing to consider. And yeah, so another thing, as I said before, Brotherhood's End could be Pyroclasm. So that's also another thing to consider, depending on how many Mox Opal decks you um, expect to encounter. So that's it all again. Thank you for watching. Friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment down in video, and let me know, do you like the Grixis Reanimator better or the Domain Reanimator? Grixis Reanimator was on my channel a few days ago, I think Monday. Okay, so you can check that out as well. And again, thank you for watching. Until other time, see you.